So, welcome to this training. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Kasia Kynes. I'm the CEO and founder of EBV Global Institute. And today we have a very special training. It's about how to validate your EBV to your doctors and to your loved ones. That's a big topic because it's a big issue and it doesn't have to be. Hello, hello. There's people joining on Instagram. That's really it's really exciting to live stream on different platforms. So we're going to start with the doctors, and then we're going to talk about your family members, your loved ones. That's how we're going to roll today. So the good news is, and that's why I'm smiling, is one of the goals for EBV Global Institute here has been to create a database for everyone like you, for providers, for doctors, to help everyone validate what EBV is and isn't. And so we have that for you. I'm just going to walk you through some strategies and some of the resources we have just for different needs. So we've done the heavy lifting for you. And so this is an exciting training because I feel like I can really contribute to your healing path with that. So let's start with the doctors. So I have to start with explaining the background of where physicians are right now. So in the traditional training in medical school, EBV is perceived as just not as a chronic infection, but as an acute infection. So the only one that is recognized is mono. And if you look at medical literature, there's 3 million cases reported, more unreported a year in the States alone. So there's a lot of people, you're not alone, there's a lot of people who don't really get over that EBV infection, that mono, and become chronically ill. That's not understood, and that's not something that medical doctors have training on. They don't know that. So we can't really hold it against them. They are overworked, they are often burned out, and they don't have the time and physical capacity to go and study medical literature. And this is why I have this book for them. So, that's one thing. But with that, the word is going around. So, especially in functional medicine, doctors are starting to hear, it's, with a couple of years ago, medical medium came with this concept that everything is caused by EBV. So, there has been the stir, the word is out, and some functional doctors are looking, and there are some protocols here and there. And so it's starting to come to the surface. So it just depends on the doctor you work with. But for me, most physicians still don't have bearings on the virus. They don't understand it. They don't have a good handle on protocols. So they have some partial results, but they really don't know. And the most important thing is your doctor open-minded, or is their ego in the way? In other words, can you have an honest conversation? I'm reading about this virus. It really matches what I'm going through. Could we investigate it together? Is the doctor going to say, I've heard a little bit about that too. Well, let's look at that. Well, let's look at some studies, or let's look at that, some resources. Or is the doctor saying, because I hear that all the time, my doctor told me, this has nothing to do with EBV. You're looking for the wrong thing. It's all a hype. And I literally hear the stories. There was a woman who, when she came to investigate EBV, it was 7 years after she had that conversation with a doctor she trusted. And unfortunately, ego got in the way, and he blasted at her. This is a fad. You just, don't even think about it. It has nothing to do with anything. And based on her presentation, her medical history, everything that she presented to me, it was absolutely, I felt it was chronic EBV. And so, that's unfortunate, but that's what happens. So I need to ask you the question, is the doctor willing, is the doctor open-minded or not? If you have to tiptoe around and you can't really explain freely how you feel and what you need help with, you have the freedom and you have the power to fire your doctor and find a wonderful, caring, open-hearted doctor. They are there. They are amazing. And even if they may not have the knowledge of the virus, you can together pursue it, and I'll show you how. So that's the key about physicians. It just depends. So if you have an open-minded doctor, the very first thing you can share with them, very simple, is our website. Because, like I said, we created a legacy, we created a database. It's all for people. It is evidence-based. It's not an opinion. It is indisputable, and you can see it. This is what EBV is. And so the website is called ebvhelp.com, ebvhelp.com. I'm going to make sure that all the resources are in the YouTube channel under this video later. There's particularly there's 3 studies that I have big quotes on my website, and I want to talk about them because this is how you talk to your doctors. This is when they say, okay, let's look at it. Number 1, I'm going to read 2 of these here. Quote, viral infection, including Epstein-Barr virus, is one of the most frequently considered environmental factors involved in autoimmunity. So it is a great conversation to have if you have an autoimmune disorder. Another study, chronic and severe chronic active Epstein-Barr virus infections should be considered in idiopathic medical conditions, those that cannot be explained, end quote. So if you have mystery issues, chronic issues, medical research says doctors should consider testing for EBV. And there's another study saying if a doctor works with a patient and the patient doesn't respond to the protocol that they should respond to, you should also consider EBV. These are studies, and you just need those 3. So the doctor says, okay, this is a problem. We have to look at it. So on the website, I want you to see, you want to go to the bottom navigation. We have what is Epstein-Barr virus, signs and symptoms, related conditions, labs, and diagnosis. It is very juicy and meaty, and it is very detailed. So if you go into conditions, there are clusters of different conditions, different types of conditions, different types of autoimmune, different types of presentation symptoms, common symptoms, less common symptoms. But all these have references right to PubMed and medical studies. So you can click and you can validate. It doesn't get better than this. So everything is there. There's even a full training 15 minutes video free on the lab website page to explain EBV labs and how to interpret them, what to test and how to interpret them. And there's on the website, there are different kinds of results and how to interpret them as well on the list. Unusual presentations in the labs, for example. So everything is there. The website is there and it's easy. And there's also a page on our website specifically for medical providers and doctors because as good luck would have, we have a complete training that I created for medical doctors in my methodology so they can pick up on Monday and run with the protocol with their EBV patients once they do that training. So everything is there. Now, I think some doctors may not be able to sit online, digest all this, but they want to study. And a lot of doctors are traditional like me. They like a book in their hand. So I would strongly recommend this book. This is a big book. And historically, over the years, I hear a lot of stories of patients actually bringing a copy of the book as a gift to their doctors. And these are the doctors that are open-minded and want to learn and are curious. And also doctors talk about this book and recommend that to their patients. And sometimes the patient-doctor team, they start working on this together. Because the goal for this book was to create a big reference guide for everything related to EBV, especially evidence-based. And so about 1/3, one of my biggest issue was validation. Validation is science, validation for doctors, validations for you. So 1/3 of the book is science for doctors. Like, what do we know about EBV, presentations, everything, labs, And the 2/3 is for people that have EBV. Well, what do we do with this? How do we live our lives? What are the supplements, diets, everything? So it's all in there. And, doctors are busy, but if they're working with an EBV patient, there is a very good index at the end, alphabetical, so they can go through any, liver, lemon, leukemia, lipases, lipoic acid, whatever they need, fluoride, gallstones, glucose, cabbage, CD4 plus. Everything is here. So it's a great gift for a doctor that you want to work with or you have pleasure working with. So that's the story with the doctors. I hope this is helpful. And really, there are wonderful doctors out there. So if you're struggling with the one you have, find a good one. You really deserve one, and they deserve to work with you. Now, let's move on to second part of the topic, how to validate EBV for your family members, for your spouse, for your friends. Okay, there's a couple of problems with this. Number one, in our community, people are very committed to figuring out why they're so sick, to getting better. And so they have a clean diet, they have a clean lifestyle. They're trying really hard. It's not for the lack of trying that they're not getting better, but they're not just lazy sitting, they're trying. So they may look, or you may look really healthier than most Americans, for example, if you're in the States. And so it's really hard to explain to people that you are so sick. So let's say that you have classic fatigue and brain fog. That doesn't show. I always say you don't have oozing, bleeding ulcers, oozing out of your cheeks. It doesn't show. And unless somebody experiences this kind of fatigue and brain fog, it's not possible to explain to somebody that, you only have energy for the day to drag yourself out of bed into the kitchen and back, and that's it. You're spent for the day. Nobody can relate to that unless they have experienced that. So you can't really explain that, and you can't expect others to get it. And that's just what it is. So because of that, I strongly recommend that you change your strategy and you stop trying to convince and validate. And one of the tools that we have created that may help you is we have this fabulous EBV transformational workshop. And again, I'm going to put all the links in our YouTube channels after this. It's $47 or $1 if you return. A lot of people in our community return to it because it's all about emotional well-being and, understanding EBV and being part of the community. We have breakout rooms on Zoom when you actually hang around with other people like you. Like I said, there are millions of people who have active mono every year, just in the States alone. There are thousands and thousands of people just like you. And it is so validating to get on a live Zoom with people you've never met, and suddenly you have a common story and you totally get each other. So the community is so important. We run this transformational workshop every few months. So you are very welcome to investigate it and just to get that sense of, I'm not alone, I'm not isolated. There is a whole community there. You're going to love that. Another aspect of the challenge with the family members, especially spouses and especially men are driven, like husbands, men are driven to provide solutions. And, unfortunately with chronic EBV, they don't know what the solutions are. Excuse me. So they may try to come up with solutions. Why don't you exercise to improve mood? Why don't you do this? Why don't you get an antidepressant medication? No, they don't know. The challenge for people in your immediate family is it's very disempowering, confusing, and frustrating when they see you every day and it doesn't change. It doesn't get better. There's no solution. There's no end period, when you get better, unless you're on a protocol that is working. And so people are really disempowered. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to work through this. So sometimes it's hard to understand. And again, you may look good, and then people in their frustration start thinking, she or he is just getting lazy and they just don't want to do anything. They're just depressed. And it's not in your head, it's physiological. You have just this overbearing fatigue and brain fog and any other host of symptoms. So in that case, I have slightly different recommendations, and I'm going to explain why, but they will be powerful for people that care about you and love you. So obviously, number one is again my website, because everything is there. So you could look at the website, you could look at a particular page, and then if you find something that really relates to you, it feels like your story. Like, this is me, look, there's these conditions, and I have 5 of them. Look at that page, and there's references to the studies. So black and white, again, you can't deny it. Number two, of course, is the book. As you read the book, focus on your journey and focus on the virus journey. Like, are there things in my life that happened that because of that book, now I'm connecting the dots and realizing, oh, that's the common thread. That's what happened to me. Because you can open the book somewhere and tell stories with your family member, with your loved one, and if they just look at this book and open on any page, they will see the colossal amount of information and studies that exist on EBV. So it's not in your head. Now, there's also the YouTube channel that we created with over 50 trainings just like that. So you can scroll by titles and see, which topic do I want to watch? And maybe that's something that will really connect with your loved one. They will get it. So maybe you will share that with them to watch as well. Another thing I might recommend, especially with a spouse, is a one-time consultation that we call clarity session. And the details are on my website. Everything you will find on my website. A clarity session can help clarify, do you have EBV? Do you know? What does it mean? What do we do? What is it? And it's very beneficial. I always invite a spouse, if that's possible, because spouses have different kind of questions, different kind of challenges, and really helps validate, oh, I get it. This is a serious thing. So that's another thing. And now the last thing I would recommend may be really surprising, but I want you to go to EBV Recovery Program page. The website is called ebvonlineprogram.com. The reason I want you to go there is this is a recovery program. This is where people that are committed and ready come, and they do the needed work, they recover, and then they live their lives, because this is completely possible. That's what we do every day. So when you are on that page, I need you to watch the videos, listen to audios, and read the written testimonials of real people that have gone through this process. The reason why I want you to do it is because the stories are the stories of pain, frustration, disempowerment, overbearing EBV, life lost to EBV. And at the end of it, people actually live their lives. But the important thing for you to validate with your family members and loved ones is the stories of where those people were initially, how much pain they endured, how much they suffered. And, if you feel that a couple of these stories relate to your story, these are the stories you can share with them. There's a lot of stories. So whether it's video, audio, or written, just look at these real people, because then your family members, like, stories are real. People react to them personally. They respond to them personally. It's not like you're telling them. They can read for themselves. So I would do that. Hopefully this training has been helpful for you. Hopefully it will give you a little bit more empowerment, knowing that there are places to go. Things have been validated. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've done that for you. We got you. Not only can you recover, but at this time you can start the journey by showing other people and showing your doctor that this is a real condition and you're really struggling with it and you need help. With that, I'll see you on the next training. And thank you for watching this. And good luck with your EBV on your healing journey.